Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do my February TBR. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue doing my TBR draws. Again, I've made 16 categories and made little tabs for them. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some, and then I'm going to go find what I have that matches those. And then I'm going to add a couple of books that I also would like to get to this month. So the point of this is to read different genres, make myself pull those books that I keep putting off, and also then still have space to pick up library books or to pick up books that I, on a whim or on a project that or a read along or a thon or whatever I want to do. So I'm trying to make my TBR smaller and more manageable. Now, last month I picked 5, and I think it was too much right now, at least. And February is an even shorter month. So I'm only going to pick 3. So I'm going to pick 3 different categories, and then I'm going to go get the books, and then I'll come back, and then I will talk about those ones that I want to read, as well as there's a few books I also want to put on as possibilities, or what I'd like to get to as well. So it's still going to be a long, a pretty good sized TBR, but it's not as, I didn't want to add too much more because I had a couple things I definitely want to do this month. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the lid off correctly. And then we're gonna draw. So we're gonna draw 3. Let's see what happens. The first one is Series to Continue. That's good because I have a book I want to read this month that's a series I want to continue. Worked out perfectly. Next one is History Nonfiction, which I seem to be picking up on my own by myself, but I can go pick up another one. That's cool. I don't know. I'll have to look at my stuff. And then, oops, sorry. And then the last one is a modern classic. Well, aren't these all like ones that I did this month? That's okay, they're all different from the ones I picked last month, so that is a good thing. So, okay, so I'm gonna go and pick out my books, and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back. So of those 3, we're gonna go through them. The first one was Series to Continue. So technically this is on the list I have for series to complete, but I'm gonna put it in because I was gonna read it anyway. There's a read along going on Gail Carriger's, all of her works up into the new release of her book in August. And I've read most of them, but I'd like to pick up a few of the ones that I haven't. I've never finished the Finishing School series by her. So Manners and Mutiny is number 4. I have not read this. I've had it since it came out. So, yeah, so I don't even know what year that was. But anyway, and I've really loved this series. I'm not a big young adult reader, but because it was Gail Carriger, I read this series and I've enjoyed it. It's not my favorite, as you know, I like her more adult stuff, but these are fun. But I want to finish it out because I want to know what happens, because the third one ended on a cliffhanger, and I've had this from 2015. I'm a little behind. Anyway, so I'm going to continue. Technically, I'm going to finish, but this is a book I was going to read anyway. I think the last week of February is when this read-a-thon, a read-along, is going. I think it's around there. It's near the end of the month. So anyway, I'll be picking this up in February anyway, so that can be for that one. And then I'd finish a series too, all in one go. That's great. Then the next one was a history. Was it history nonfiction? And I actually have a library book that's coming, and I've talked about the fact I've just read a book on Chernobyl from another author, but a new one is coming out in February called Midnight at Chernobyl, I think. And I can't remember the author's name right off the top of my head here. But if I decide to read that, I will read that as my history nonfiction, because I will have it from the library and I'll probably have to read it. But if I decide, I don't want to read another one this close to the other one because I didn't realize its due date or its release date was so quick from the one I already read, then I might just return to the library and get it in a couple of months. But if I don't read that one, I'm going to read Zinky Boys by Slavanya Alekovic. So again, she's one of my favorite nonfiction writers. This is on Soviet voices from the Afghanistan War. So I don't know much about this. Again, it was in the 80s, And I was growing up in the 80s, so I don't know a whole lot about the conflict itself, and I definitely don't know it from the Soviet perspective. So I'm looking forward to reading this anyway, so this is a great one. And again, it's not super long. It's about 185 pages, so I think that'd be a good one for February, because February is a short month. But this is, you know, as I said, I might still read that even if I read the Chernobyl book, but we'll see. We'll see how I feel. I still don't know about that Chernobyl book, because I think it's just too soon after the one I just read. And then my last one is a modern classic, and I decided to go with Animal Farm by George Orwell. I have never read this. I never was assigned it for some reason, but my brother was, and you know, most of my friends have read it, and a lot of people have, and I just never gotten around to it. Since I read 1984 last year, I have still wanted to pick up Animal Farm. I said, I just know it's one of those things that people talk about, and it looks like it's going to be a really quick read. It's only like 140 pages, and the print's not super bad. So anyway, I don't know anything about this. I just know so vaguely about what's going on. Something about a farm and politics. I don't know. I just, as I said, so those are my three that are for the TBR jar picks kind of thing. So I think those are all manageable. There's one that I already was going to read, and then two smaller ones. So I definitely have, you know, I can hopefully squeeze them in with everything else. So the other things, I will still be listening to Becoming by Michelle Obama. I will not have this book from the library. I will have just the audiobook by the time February comes, but I just have it right now while I'm filming. So I am already into this, but there's no way I'm going to finish it by the 1st, or, you know, before that. So this will probably go in through the first week and a half of February. So that's cool. I mean, again, I'm really enjoying that, so I want to continue her memoir. I don't think I'm going to get to this in this next week, so I am going to bring over one book from January that I didn't get to, and that is Alicia Cole's A Princess in Theory, the first book in the Reluctant Royals romance series. So I still want to read this. I just have not been in the mood. But February has, you know, Valentine's Day. Not my favorite holiday, to be perfectly honest. But I haven't got to this book, and I figure I can slip it in better in that month anyway. And then, and it just happens these are all like authors. So I also have Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. This is the graphic novel I've heard that's really good. I read part of the book many years ago and just didn't click with it. I guess I never finished it. So I thought, well, I'll just read the graphic novel instead. So at least I get the whole story. I know half of the story. I just don't know what happens. So I don't know. I'm going to read that. But I figure, you know, February is Black History Month. So I'll have at least a couple of titles. And I'm hoping to also listen to on audio James Baldwin's Giovanni's Room. I have that that I haven't listened to yet. And I kind of want to listen to that. So that'll probably be my audiobook after Becoming. And then the only other book that's for sure I want to read this month is Mary Barton by Elizabeth Gaskell. There is a read-along on Bookstagram that is reading all the Gaskell books this year. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to read all of them every month. I just don't know if I have the stamina for that. But the first book, Mary Barton, is her first book is in February, and it's was the next one I wanted to pick up to try her out. So I am going to attempt to read this. I don't know much about it except that it's during the Industrial Revolution, and I think this woman, she gets rejected by her wealthy suitor or something, and or I don't know. Actually, no, I take it back. I have not a clue what this is about. I don't know, but we'll find out. Sorry about that. I don't actually know. I don't remember I just remember it's industrial, and that's about all I remember. And I know they were saying it was kind of like a Jane Austen in the Industrial Revolution, but I'm not quite sure what this book is fully about. I don't want to know. I'm just going to go into it anyway. And then the last things I think I'm going to pick up in February, I'm hoping to, is to pick up a couple of the books from my Try a Chapter Urban Fantasy tag. So I still want to try to read Black Wings by Christina Henry and House Immortal by Devin Monk. I don't know if I'm going to read the ones I considered lower on the list. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to give them a try or not. But I just wanted, February, I want to at least try to get to 2 more of these. I really want to read the second book in the other series, which is the Written in Red. The first book I read in January. I really want to read the next book, but I told myself I have to give myself a couple more of these before I can pick that up, but that might happen too. I don't know. So those are all the books I'd like to read in February. Again, that list is a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, but some of these books are small. I'm hoping that I have a lot of diversity and stuff in here. I'm not planning to do any readathons, read-alongs, I think, in February. But if something comes up, then I'll change. I mean, other than the Mary Barton one, I meant. I'm doing that one, but I meant any other ones. That didn't come out right because I'm doing that one and the Mutiny in Manners. Whatever. I don't know if there's anything else out there that might pop up in February. I guess we'll find out. But I'm hoping I have enough movability. I cannot say that today. Forget. I want to have flexibility to put in books when I have the mood to read them, and then also have a lot of books that I've been thinking about that I'd like to read. So that's what these are. So anyway, what are you guys reading in February? Let me know. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.